Hello, Talk Funders. Today, we're joined by Parag from Auspice. Hello there, my friend. How are you?
Good, Alan. Good to be with you today.
Thank you so much for coming in a pre-launch again to Talk Funding. I love doing pre-launches, so thank you so much. And without further ado, we'll just start looking at your rather excellent Kickstarter page and videos. I'm just going to read the title because it really will set the scene for this interview and for your company, Auspice. So it's social innovation for food. We are on a mission to create 10,000 jobs for persons with autism all over the world. Support our campaign and our cause. Absolutely excellent, Parag. Can we really just start just giving us really broad brushstrokes about that, about social innovation for food and your mission?
Well, our mission is to create good products and to create them in a good manner. And what we do, we produce around 50 different varieties of herbs, spices, and seasonings. And our social commitment is that all our products, every single one of them, are produced by persons with autism. And we do not employ non-autistic people for our food processing activities. And we aspire to bring in social and financial and economic, as well as employment and livelihood for the autistic community.
And can I just interrupt you, Parag, and say, just for the viewers who might not be clear on what actually autism is, could you maybe just give us a bit of background on what autism is, please?
Yeah, sure. Autism is a neurological disorder that affects 1% or more than 1% of world's population, and it occurs everywhere. It's not specific to any gender, specific to any ethnic background or so. It's more prevalent in males than in females in a ratio of almost 4:1. Now, the strange thing about autism is you kind of get it at birth. You can't acquire it. Unlike, say, a visual impairment. It is possible that you're born with it, and it's also possible that over a period of time your eyesight degrades. But with autism, you are born with it, you learn to live with it, and there's no medical cure for it yet. So there's no medicine that will cure you. So that makes it somewhat difficult and you know.
Yep. And what we'll talk about just later is regarding, I just think it's wonderful. We're going to talk about the actual products that your social organization, Auspice, is creating with these autistic peoples all over the world. We'll do a deep dive on that. I think it's just fantastic that, in one sense, you're recognizing that there is an issue with over 1% of the world's population has autism. But what you're actually doing with Auspice is that you're creating employment opportunities for them to contribute into a wider society. And not only that, the actual products that you are producing are really quality products as well, which is wonderful. So you're touching you're ticking a lot of boxes, shall we say? And let's just move on and look at introduce the products themselves. So the products that the autistic people and your organization Auspice are working on to have developed and increasingly developing is, it says here, life is incredibly delicious. Let's take a bite together. Can we begin to sort of talk about your products, please?
Yeah, life is wonderful, always. So our products, we, as I mentioned, we do around 50 varieties of herbs, spices, and seasonings. And there's something for every cuisine that we try to do. So we have, say, Mediterranean herbs like oregano and basil and thyme and parsley, as well as whole spices like cumin and nigella seeds and black peppers and different kinds of peppers. We also have powdered and grounded spices like chili powders and turmeric powders and coriander powders. And we have seasonings like purely from different varieties of salts to say a piri piri seasoning kind of. And lastly, we have different kinds of blends. At present, our blend range is more catered to the Indian cuisine. So if you want to make a chicken tikka masala at home, then you know what to use.
And I love a way, just in terms of the broad vision, and we'll look at your product specifically in the deep dive interview to follow. It's just lovely here. If people can scroll down on the Kickstarter page in the Life is Incredibly Delicious, let's take a bite together. You really give a nod to the idea of social responsibility, and that's really really combining sort of the human aspect of helping individuals with autism to really have employment and create quality products and doing that. So you say here, we don't just support the cause, we are dedicated to the cause. The cause is our mission. Absolutely fantastic, Parag. Thank you so much for your work. And we'll look at different aspects of that mission, etc., in the backstory, which is the third interview that we'll be doing this morning. I'd just like to encourage the talk funders and the Kickstarters just to scroll down the page again. And there's a lovely wee graph, our image graph here, infograph, which I'll just talk through myself. And it really is the products that you're are creating are there for the finest ingredients. They're pure and natural. They're handcrafted. They're quality assured. You have different ISOs, etc., which we can look at later. Socially responsible and planet friendly. So again, you're ticking so many boxes, my friend, and fantastic. Can we just look, scroll down further on the page, and all our products are handcrafted by autistic persons. Could you say a little bit more about this section on your Kickstarter page? There's a lovely series of photographs here about your staff at work.
So these are actual pictures from our production facility. And if you scroll down, there are some other pictures, especially like the one there. What we try to do is to create a happy workforce and a happy workplace, and really make them feel as if they belong here.
Fantastic.
So,
and where were these photographs taken?
we are based in a suburb of New Delhi in India. So it's a village called Jasola where we work.
Okay, well, I'll have to get maybe we can Google map you so we can see where we are, and I'll put all these links in the video description below. Fantastic, lovely photographs, folks. So please check out the lovely photographs. Now, I'd love just to open it up a bit wider, moving on from your products and your mission. Another aspect of your mission is your global footprint. Could you say something about that, please?
What we see here is a Seed Award, which we were runners-up in 2021. And Seed Awards were instituted by the UNDP, and they are sponsored by the government of Germany and Belgium. And they are awarded for ecologically sensitive initiatives. So as we just discussed, that our entire workforce is autistic, and they have different kinds of difficulties. So what we try not to do is to rely on machinery. So most of our work is done by hand, and other than the weighing scale, there are very few pieces of machinery that we use. So they recognized our work and we are very grateful and humbled by this.
Oh, and maybe I've just thought a question because it sounds that I know a little bit about candy economics. So maybe in the backstory we can talk about that as well. Fantastic that you're using, one sense, low technology. It's so you know, in Kickstarter I interview a lot of companies who are all into technology for solutions, but you guys are going back to the essentials, and it just sounds phenomenal. Which we'll look back. I'd encourage people to check out the backstory interview later. Fantastic. So, and the commitments. Can you really? I know about the sustainable development goals. Could you say something about your commitments, please?
Yeah, you know, there's a convention, a treaty, and it's called UN Convention of Rights of People with Disabilities, in short CRPD. It's been around for a while, and it talks about different aspects of life of people with disabilities. In particular, what we do is related to Article 27, which discusses their employability, employment opportunities, and so on. So, two things in particular which are relevant to our work. One is reasonable accommodation, meaning that if you are willing to employ someone with a disability, you'll make reasonable efforts um, to make it easy for him to come to work. So things like stairs and the ramp for those who are on a wheelchair, let's say. So in our case, the reasonable accommodation, you know, autistic people are visual learners. So we have job aids and everything. Their schedule is visual and it's put up on the wall at their workstation and so on. And the other more important aspect is equal pay for equal work. You know, which I think everyone should follow, and with time things will improve. But we follow it already. So, and also we support the three sustainable development goals, 8, 9, and 10.
Fantastic. And then just going back to your mission, which we mentioned in the subtitle of the actual Kickstarter page, your mission of 10,000. Could you say something about that, please, Parag?
Yeah, we want to create employment opportunities for at least 10,000 people by end of this decade. And I understand it's not small, but I also understand it's not impossible. So one of the reasons why we launch our campaign through Kickstarter is because people can learn what we do, why we do, and how we do, you know. And also, I think it's a great platform to reach out to communities where they might be interested in doing this for us. So, suppose in your country there are people who think it's good and they want to replicate it. So we give them all sort of guidance and everything.
Fantastic.
Or somebody who wants to adapt it, not replicate. They don't want to do food products, but they want to do handloom products or things like that. So that way the community grows, and I'm very hopeful that by end of this decade we'll be able to meet our targets.
Well, the lovely thing about this is, I encourage the Talk Funders and Kickstarters to scroll down and look at the mission 10,000. Is that you've phase one, you've successfully completed sales phase one, which is you've completed that already, and now you're working towards your first milestone, which is 100 jobs for persons with autism by December 2022. So I just love the way you've laid out the whole Kickstarter page, and it's very clear for everyone to follow, and your very clear strategic vision for Auspice has got. So it's phenomenal. And then just lastly, we're looking at what are we raising funds for? Can you, maybe we've covered this already. Is there anything you'd like to highlight in that section, please?
Yeah, I mean, we are raising funds to create more jobs and to create the network through which we can sell our products. You know, the reason why we are not a charity is because we don't want to be a charity. We want to use market forces um, to create the impact that we want to, and there's need for funds and um, like every other startup, you know.
Yep.
But eventually, we don't want to be dependent on funds or donations or something. We just want to be a company that does reasonably well, generates profit, and gives return to shareholders. At the same time, not compromising on the social issues that we have around it.
Phenomenal. That's so rare. What you're saying is like I think at the very creative point of entrepreneurship there, my friend, where you're saying you're not, you know, again, I really want to enlarge this in our backstory conversation, which is going to be multifaceted, but you're basically saying you didn't want to go down the charitable, say, NGO group route. You really wanted to let your products themselves stand in the open market for people to purchase and consume. Absolutely phenomenal. And just lastly, in this just main interview here, I think I'd like to just give a nod to people because I really want to cover this in the backstory or interview. But you've went through a number of credentials, maybe just these in terms of the product itself, just the food safety credentials that you have, Parag.
Yeah, we are ISO 22000 certified, and ISO 22000 is the standard for food safety in terms of the processes and the policies that we follow at the production center. Um, we want to give you products that are safe to consume, and it's good to adhere to a standard.
Fantastic. Well, listen, there's other aspects of your credentials which I really want to talk about in the backstory, such as the Council for Inclusive Capitalism and SEED, etc. So we'll just leave that part of the credentials here, and we'll look at it in the backstory interview. So I'd like to scroll up to the top, and again, thank Parag from Auspice for coming to our pre-launch interview. I wish you all the best. I think your whole organization is just fantastic, and I love the mission statement that you have. So thank you so much for your work. So that's it. I'd just like to say thank you to Parag from Auspice. Wish you all the best. Cheers. Thank you very much. Bye bye now.